Yes, I'm traveling again. I'm on my way down to Florida for some fun in the sun. But what watch or watches do you think I brought on this trip? Time's up. Stay tuned to see which watches I brought, how I've packaged them for this trip, and how they worked out. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Adventures with Time. I'm your host, Bob. Well, I'm traveling again. Just last month, I went out to Scottsdale, Arizona. So being in another time zone, I brought my Zelos Horizons GMT. This time, I'm going to Marco Island on the southwest coast of Florida to relax in the sun, read some good books, and eat some good seafood. So my criteria for what timepieces to bring are different this time. Unlike my last trip, I will not be changing time zones, so I really don't need a GMT function. Since I'm on the Florida coast, I want a watch that is comfortable in warm and possibly humid conditions. A watch that has some reasonable level of water resistance, and a watch I don't mind if it gets scuffed up in the pool or on the beach. I also want to use a strap that works well in these conditions. Let's open up the watch box and take a look at my options. For this trip, I'll consider taking more than one watch, as I want to try out several watches and strap options to see how they work for me. I just purchased this Islander automatic diver for just such an occasion. I'll leave a link to that recent video up here in the corner. I thought this watch, with its yellow dial, would fit perfectly in Florida, known as the Sunshine State. It's a diver, so suitable for water conditions. And with a price of $299, it's a watch that I can consider as a beater. Plus it has both a day and a date complication. So if I lose track of what day it is, I'm all set. I've made several trips to Florida. In fact, it was on last year's trip where I noticed a problem with my Seiko Samurai, reference SRPB 55. I've been chronicling my issues with the movement in this watch for several videos, and I'm not done with this yet. I'll leave a link to the playlist up here in the corner for you to view. I think I want to bring my Samurai on this trip again to see how it performs. It was my original water vacation watch, and aside from the movement issues, I think it is perfectly suited for a trip like this. So it's coming along. A third watch I want to bring is my bronze Ergon Melstrom. This watch was produced in partnership with Zelos, a micro brand who produces many fine watches which offer great value for the money. This is my only bronze watch. I have yet to notice any patina starting to form. So I'm going to bring it along and see if the sea air has any impact on the finish. Well, I have the three watches I want to take along on this trip. Let me now review if I want to change the straps on any of these watches. This Samurai is currently on a tropical rubber strap. I think that is fitting for this trip, so I'll leave it on this strap. I purchased the Islander diver on the stainless steel bracelet. It's a very comfortable bracelet, but I don't know how it will feel at the beach. So let's leave it on the bracelet and see how it goes. Now the Maelstrom is on this brown leather strap. I don't think a leather strap is suited for the beach. I think I want to put this on a Nato. Let's see what options I have to make a change. Well, looks like I have 4 NATOs of the right lug width. Let's take a look at each of them. I'm not sure this blue and black one really fits. This green and brown one isn't bad, so it's a possibility. Now I think this brown one really looks nice. That may be the one. Let me check this last one here. Now I'm going to go with this brown one. Even though the buckle is stainless steel, I still think it'll work nicely. That's my choice. Now that I have the watches selected and on the straps that I want to use, what am I going to use for packing them while traveling and while I'm down in Florida? For this purpose, I just acquired a nice leather watch roll. I have several watch rolls already that came with watches I purchased. They are made from either faux leather or canvas. I wanted something a bit finer. I looked around and decided to purchase this Hemel 3-pocket watch roll. I chose the chestnut brown color. This roll has a fine polished sheepskin leather finish with a buff suede backing. And unlike my other watch rolls, this one uses Velcro on its straps, making it easy and very secure. In go the watches, and now I'm ready for travel. I'll include several segments on my use of the watches during this trip and how I feel about them. And I'll close with an overall assessment of how they performed. As Jackie Gleason used to say, and away we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have shut the main cabin door at this time. We do need all customers in their seats with their seatbelts securely fastened. If you're currently using...
Going out for breakfast. Which one shall I choose? I think the Melstrom. Down by the pool. Diving deep into the pool with my Samurai. Well, it's day 2 for me down here on Marco Island in Florida. And I've actually been wearing all 3 of the watches that I brought down with me. I wear the yellow Islander watch, usually when I'm going out to dinner. It just feels right to me with that nice dial and the bracelet. Down at the pool or on the beach, I wear my Seiko Samurai. And all other times, I've been wearing this Ergon Melstrom. So I think that wearing scenario or wearing methodology has worked out for me, but maybe I'll try some different things over the next few days. So let's see how it goes. Well, my week in Marco Island, Florida is done, and I'm heading back home. So let's review what I've discovered or what I think about the 3 watches that I brought down with me. But first, I want to point out that this watch roll is really great. I love the soft feel of it. I love the Velcro strap, the color, the fit of watches in it. It's just perfect, and I'm glad I bought it, even though it was somewhat expensive. Of the 3 watches I brought down, this Islander watch was really the hit of the trip. I love the yellow dial. I love how it fits in with the sun and the beach, and it even looks great at night, out to dinner, or wherever we go. So I'm really glad that I purchased this watch, and any concerns I had about the Seiko NH36 movement, disregard that. The watch kept great time, plus or minus 5 seconds a day, so there's really no problems with it. As for my Seiko Samurai, that's my beater watch. I wore that down to the pool, to the beach, anywhere that I thought a watch might get scratched or knocked or dinged. And of course, it worked great. Wore it in the water, no problems at all. I think though when I get home, I'm going to play around with this watch and replace the movement because as you know, I've had problems with the 4R35 movement that's in it. Not that it's bad, it's plus or minus 25 seconds a day, but I think I want to play with it and see what I can do to improve that. So stay tuned for a video about that. Third watch is the Ergon Melstrom, which is a partnership with Zelos, who produces great watches. But I'm finding that the Ergon just doesn't do it for me. It looks fairly plain on the wrist, although it's a nice bronze watch. It's not ringing the bell for me, so I'm going to consider selling that one off. Probably take me a couple of months to make that decision and finally pull the trigger and sell it, but I don't think it's going to get the risk time that it deserves. So might as well someone else have the joy of that watch. So that's about it. So see you in the next video and on my next trip, wherever that may be.